It's another episode of Say It Loud, y'all. You know what to do. Get your wine and your wine glasses. Get your Henny and your shot glasses. Get your mixed drinks if that's what you're doing tonight. For those of y'all that ain't fucking with me, I get you. You're on quarantine with Rona. Go ahead and brew some tea. Get your lavender, your chamomile, or whatever you need. Sit back, relax, and enjoy another episode of Say It Loud, y'all. Let's go. It is another episode of Say It Loud. I know y'all all like, what the fuck you gonna talk about today? Today, I'm gonna get right down to it. I'm not gonna take much of your time, but I'm gonna enlighten you with some things that I've been thinking and how the universe has been working in my favor. So every week I wait for inspiration to come to me about what we're going to talk about for the week or what I'm going to share for the week or who's going to be on the show. And I like to have a topic that we can talk about so that it not just is a blatant conversation or a one-sided conversation, but that you walk away saying either, Karen, you was really right, you was really wrong. I need to share this with somebody else I know needs to listen. I'm going to take what applies to me, and what doesn't apply to me, I'm going to throw it out. So today we're going to talk about people dating, because this has turned into a relationship show. I don't know how, it just has. And people dating, but dating that have children. So I think about myself, right? And I think about people in my age group, age category, and whatever their situation is, right? So there are women right now who are dating, who are not married or in any situation and have children. There are also men that have had children from previous relationships and may not be in that relationship anymore. And now here we are, we're single, but we have children. And the topic isn't so much about today just about being single and having children. It's about having a partner, whether it be a fuck buddy partner or I'm going to marry you one day partner, and how they embrace your child. And this came to me after multiple conversations this week, just with different people. And it just kept coming back to different situations. And I was like, okay, when something keeps presenting itself in my life, I realize that. And then I'm like, okay, this is what we're going to talk about. So for the sake of today, I'm going to talk about a woman who is in a relationship, who is engaged to be married, and has not embraced her partner's children. They've been dating for a couple of years. They're at the point where it's serious and they're going to get married. And, she hasn't really embraced his children in the sense that, she just hasn't embraced them. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to be a stepmom. I don't want to have anything to do with that. Where that is in a place of dating, and where that is in a place of having a healthy relationship, and where that place is as far as how to deal with that. Like I said, my demographic right now is 25 to 44. So there are people that have had children from previous relationships, both men and women. And then, you meet someone and you're like, okay, great. I don't know what this is going to be. We might just be hanging out. It might just be fun for the next couple of months. It might be fun for the next couple of years. It might not be permanent. It might be permanent. And all of that is cool. This isn't about how you choose to do that. This is about, how do we figure that out when it comes to the kids? And where do we draw our boundaries? And where do we say, okay, this is not cool and we need to do something about it and have a discussion? So that's what we're going to talk about today for the sake of conversation, because I think it's really important. Now, don't get it twisted. There are some women who don't have children. There are some men that don't have children. And it might be a little different for you, because dating someone with a child might be a new experience. And you need to probably listen to the rest of this show to get an idea of what that could look like for you. Because it doesn't mean the relationship has to be over. It just means that okay, where do I fit into this situation? So I wanted to talk about that because I really do feel like in our particular age demographic that there is a lot of that. And how do you date? And I don't know about the dating apps and when to introduce kids. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you are, whatever situation you choose to be in, whether it go from anything from a fuck buddy to a whole full-fledged marriage, you need to understand that partner that you choose to be with, or that person you choose to hang out with, or whatever the case may be, has a child. You need to understand that. If they got a broken tooth, if they got a bad heart, if they got asthma, if they got whatever they got, when you choose to date that person or have any kind of relations or relationship, and some people be like, but it's not a relationship. If you fucking every Friday and you're coming over each other's house all the time, it's a relationship. It might be a friendship relationship, but it's still a relationship. A friendship is a relationship. A fuck buddy is still a relationship. It's not a committed relationship where we're going to get married and have babies, but it's still some type of relationship. Everybody in your life that you speak to, there's a relationship. There's a relationship with the guy at the corner store. There's a relationship with your boss. There's a relationship with your kids. There's a relationship with your mom. It's some type of relationship. It might not be, the definition of getting married and having babies, that type of relationship, but you are dealing with somebody on some type of level, right? And there is a relationship there. Okay, so let's not lose sight of what the words mean and get crossed in those. Let's just be honest with what it is. Now, if you are just messing with a woman or women, let me talk to you because this particular case is about a woman. I just want to be like, sis, you knew that this man had children when you met him. You knew that. Right? If a guy hides that he has children, that's fucked up. That means he got some own issues with his kids and how he deal with himself and, whatever the case may be. And yes, I understand breaking up with someone because they have kids. You know what I mean? If you don't want that and you don't want to be in a relationship. But if someone was honest with you from the very beginning and said, I have 2 children or I have 3 children or I have 6 kids, it is then your decision, lady, at that point to decide if you want to continue in whatever kind of relationship with that man. And I don't mean just, like I said, a relationship where we're going to get married and have kids and da-da-da. I'm talking about even your fuck buddy, right? If your fuck buddy tell you he got 6 kids and that shit don't work for you, then that's not your fuck buddy. Then get out that situation. Nobody told you had to be there. It's a decision that you get to make. But when you decide to be with someone, you have to understand what they come with. Right? Whatever that may be. And that might be 2 or 3 kids. That might be 6 or 7 kids. That might be a broken leg. That might be I ain't got no car. That might be, I don't have a license. That might be I have asthma. That might be I'm a workaholic. That might be I'm cheap. Whatever it is, that's what you're agreeing to, right? Because you're taking that person on. And sometimes it doesn't matter because you're like, all right, this is not a relationship in the terms of we gonna get married. We just chilling. Nonetheless, if you just chilling and somebody cheap, they still cheap. It don't change the fact that they cheap. They just spending less money on you. Okay, so let's think about that. So you're making this decision and you decide to be with someone who you knew had children. You knew this person had children. They were very honest with you. You continued to have a relationship with them. It started to grow. It is now blossoming. You are loving each other. You're having a great time, but you have not embraced their child. And, I feel that in those particular cases, you need to understand that if you are going to the point in life where you are going to marry someone, marry them. This isn't just like, oh my God. This is just, this isn't just like, we're not getting along or something like that. This is just, we're going to get married. We're going to settle down. We're going to be something together. Then you have to embrace that person's child or children. This isn't just like, we fucking around and we're just hanging out. Once you commit to being in a healthy relationship with someone, part of being in a whole and healthy relationship is accepting who they are, accepting who their family is, whether they're nice to you or kind to you or whatever the case may be, but being open to that. Remember, children don't ask to be here. And the relationship that you have or the way you treat somebody's children is going to have a lot to do with the relationship that you guys have together. Somebody was mistreating my child, then guess what? We don't have a relationship. We're not getting married. We're not doing those things because my child doesn't need to be disrespected or treated any kind of way. And it could be there's a guy and he got 6 kids and, you're not really fond of the kids because they're bad. I understand. They're like baby's kids. There's some badass kids out there. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, that's still that person's kids. You might say, I'm not coming with you to Chuck E. Cheese. I'm not fucking with you. Go hang out with your kids. I'll talk to you later. And that's fine. That is fine. Sometimes that's what you have to do. You know what I mean? But you need to be supportive to that person and say, okay, you know what? This is the person I choose to be with. This is the person that I love. This is the person that I want to be with. And while I might not want to be in every aspect of their life, I'm still going to support them here. Right? I'm going to wake him up in the morning and say, you got to go get the kids today. I'm going out with my girls. I'm going to go see my mom. Enjoy your day. We'll hook back up later. I'll see you for dinner. That might be a way to do that, but you need to understand as a woman that you need to embrace that man's kids. And we'll talk about what embrace means after the commercial. But You need to look at that. Men, I also understand you guys. Like, I'm not trying to be anybody's dad. Kid already got a dad. I get that. We're going to talk about embracing, a child after the commercial. But for you guys, when you meet a woman and she tell you she got kids, you got to understand where you fit into that equation and where her priorities are. Now, not every mom got all the priorities in the right place. I'm not speaking for those moms. I'm speaking for the moms that have the priorities in the right place, that still want to have a relationship, but still have to make their kid their priority, and vice versa. It doesn't change because of the sex. Men or women, we both need to make those children a priority. It is unfair to be in a relationship with somebody and not embrace their kids and get to the point where y'all talking about being married, but you haven't embraced that child for whatever reason. And embracing a kid could look like a lot of different ways. It could definitely look a lot of different ways. I'm just talking from the mentality point of view, though, right? We'll get into what that looks like. I'm talking about from the mentality point of view. If you choose to date, fuck, hang out, chill with, whatever the case, whatever you want to motherfucking call it, I don't care. Any being that has a child and is active in their child's life and wants to be in their child's life, then you have to understand where you fit into that and where that child fits into that and how it fits into whatever kind of dealings in your relationship that you have, right? So if y'all just fuck buddies and she don't got a babysitter, guess what? You can't fuck. The child is a priority. Or take the kid to grandma's house. I don't know. If you're talking about getting married with someone, then you got to understand that this child's going to be a part of that marriage, whether they live in that house or they don't live in that house. And that is something that you sign up for when you agree to be in a relationship with that person. Now, if you don't want that, and that is absolutely fair, right? Then you need to let that person know and not continue with that relationship. But you cannot mistreat somebody's child that you knew about for whatever reason. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some badass kids. There's some loudmouth kids. There's some kids that put doo-doo on your toothbrush. I understand that. And in those cases, yes, you may not be fond of that child, and that child may not be fond of you. They want their parents together. They don't like nobody around. They spoil, they brat. And it's very possible. I'm not talking about the kids' behavior. I'm talking about you as an adult accepting what the situation is, right? That's still where we are, accepting what the situation is from the giddy up. That's what you need to do, okay? Because if you love someone, you love them, all of them, whole, and their child is part of who they are and a part of them being whole. And putting someone in a position where they have to choose between you and their child is unfair. It is unfair, especially when it's a child that you knew about. Now, granted, if a child come after y'all been together for 5 years, then y'all got a motherfucking problem. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you meet someone, you knew when you met them that they had children, they've been very open with you, and then you continue to mistreat or shun those children or treat that person badly for wanting to go be with their kid or whatever the case may be. And I know a lot of women are like, well, damn, I don't want him to go see his kids because I don't want him at his baby mama's house because then you start fucking the baby mama. Sir, gentlemen, please don't be fucking your baby mama if you're in a relationship with a woman. Don't do it. It is the worst thing you can do to yourself. It is the worst thing you could do. It's sabotaging yourself. I'm telling you, you're going to be in some motherfucking shit. I'm telling you, you're going to be like, Karen, you know what? I know there's a mad dudes listening right now. Like, you okay? You right. That is opening a can of worms on your own ass. Do not do it. Do not shit where you eat. Do not do it. If you want problems in your life and you want drama in your life, that's how you get it. That's how you get it. Don't do it. And women, on the other hand, don't do it either. Oh, you got your baby father sleeping over. He just want to be with the kids. No, motherfucker. No. You want to come pick these kids up? You can come pick these kids up. You want to drop them off? You can drop them off. But you're not sleeping over. You understand what I'm saying? That is where those people that are in relationships and you know you in a relationship with somebody and you got a baby mom, so you got a baby dad, you don't need to be doing that. You don't need to be doing that. That too is sabotaging your relationship. You are asking for the drama to be in your life. That's what you're asking for. Don't get mad at me. I'm just calling you out on it. And I don't know who's in the car with you. I don't know who's in your headphones with you, but you know who the fuck you is. You know exactly who the fuck you is right now. You need to get that shit under control. Because if you're looking for shit in your life and you're looking for drama, that's how you're going to get it. Right? And then you wonder why your guy or your girl doesn't trust you to go to your baby mama or your baby daddy house for shit like that. There needs to be some boundaries there. And those are part of the boundaries. And if you want to be in a relationship with someone and you want them to embrace your child, then you need to keep those boundaries exactly where they need to be. All right? So with that said, let's go to commercial. And then when I come back, I'm going to talk about embracing the kid, okay? Hang on, I'll be right back. Sweet Vibrations is the official sponsor of the Say It Loud Hoe Bag. Yes, they are. If you didn't know, Sweet Vibrations is an adult boutique that delivers innovative lifestyle products and embraces the taboo of sexual wellness instead of hiding it. Simply put, they inspire each and every one of us to embark on our own sexual wellness journey. Whether it's the girl's best friend, a little pixie, the perfect match, or tulips, there's something for everyone. And you deserve something sweet. So visit their website at www.sweetvibe.toys. Use our Say It Loud discount code, LOUD, LOUD, for discounts. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Sweet Vibrations. I mean, ladies, we all deserve a good vibe. And we're back. Shout out to Sweet Vibrations for being the official sponsor of Say It Loud. Make sure you guys go over to Sweet Vibrations and hook yourselves up with some toys. Use my code LOUD for discounts. I love them. They've been great. And my toys feel really wonderful. Anyhow, so let me take a sip of my wine. You know, I'm drinking my wine while I'm talking to y'all. So let me get into what embracing a child looks like. Because I know some of y'all are sitting here and you're like, Karen, well, what does that mean to embrace a child? How does that work? Okay, now let's talk about it, because a lot of people think, well, I have to embrace a child. I have to be a stepmom or stepdad. No, the fuck you don't. And those of you that are in relationships thinking, well, I need a dad for my child. Your child has a dad. Those men thinking I need a mom for my child. Your child has a mom. Now you fucked up and you might have picked the wrong one, but you cannot put somebody there to replace that. And don't try to put somebody there to replace that. The person that you are in a relationship with the person you are in a relationship with should be your companion, right? They're there to support you and love you, and they're embracing your child in a lot of different ways. That does not necessarily mean that they need to come in and act like a stepmom, because I don't want nobody acting like no stepmom to my motherfucking kids. They my kids. Do not disrespect me. Do not disrespect their dad. They have a mom, they have a dad. If you don't like the choice you made, that's fucked up. And some moms ain't that good. That's fucked up. Some dads ain't that good. That's fucked up. But the new person, you can't build these shoes for them, these big ass motherfucker shoes, and then tell them to go stand in it and fix all your problems that you fucked up at. You can't do that. That's not fair. Okay? Part of embracing somebody's child does not necessarily mean that you need to come in and act like a mom or a dad. You don't need to do that. You need to be supportive. You need to be a nice friend to the kid. You need to get along with them. You need to understand that person that you're with has a priority, and you can support their priority, but you don't need to come in and overdo it. That's not how that works. Okay, so some of the things you could do to embrace a child. Personally, I feel like some of the things you could do to embrace a child. If your partner has a kid, ask about their kid. Right? Ask about the kid. How the kid's doing? Everybody okay? That's a nice thing to do. Right? Part of embracing somebody's child could be, I got shit to do with my kid today. I'll call you later. And sometimes that's all you need to do. Be like, okay, have a good day. That's embracing somebody's child. Making them feel like it's okay for them to be with their kid or kids. Right? And that's from a male point of view and a female point of view, right? You can't get mad because she got shit to do and she can't fuck with you right now. And ladies, you can't get mad because he got to go be with his kid and he can't be with you. You understood what you signed up for. This is part of what you signed up for. Right? Now, sometimes you're going to get invited and sometimes you're not going to get invited. Sometimes you're going to be there. Sometimes you're not going to be there. You have to understand that. That's what the fuck you signed up for. Not everything you need to be at. They having a play at school. The mom's is going, the dad's going. You don't always need to go. Sometimes you're going to be invited. Sometimes you're not. You got to stand in your square. That's where your square is. That's what you signed up to do. Right? So not embracing a child doesn't always mean that you need to buy a kid things or you need to give them anything. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you supporting your partner. For this particular episode, there's different ways to support a child. But for this particular episode, this is not necessarily about supporting the child. This is about supporting your partner so that they have a healthy relationship with their child. And they have a healthy relationship with you. Because you can't marry someone that you haven't, embraced their kid or the fact that they have kids. You can't do that. That's unfair. You signed up for that. When you choose to be in a relationship with someone that has a child, you are signing up to deal with whatever that means to that person and whatever that means to you. And some days it might, in some relationships, it's like, can you pick my kid up from school? Depending on how tight you are. In other relationships, it's like, you know what? I can't hang out with you today because, you know what I mean? I don't have a sitter. It just depends. But you have to understand that. And you have to be open to that when people have kids. And the older we get and the more we go through life, right? We might just meet people in those situations. And they're cool people and you want to have a good time and that's great. But you need to understand that. The next thing is, okay, how do I embrace kids? What do I want in this particular relationship or in this particular thing? And how do I want it to play out? I know me personally, I'm not spending my motherfucking weekends with you in Chuck E. Cheese. I hate Chuck E. Cheese. I feel like it's, just infested with germs and I don't really like being there. That's my personal opinion, right? So if I meet someone right now in my life and they have small kids, go ahead and go do what you need to do with your kid. Have a great time and call me later. I'm not motherfucking coming to Chuck E. Cheese. Unless it's a birthday party for the kid and I gotta be there, I'm not motherfucking coming to Chuck E. Cheese. I hate that shit. Last time I went to Chuck E. Cheese, some little kid started following me around. I said, little girl, where your mom? She pointed at me. I said, I'm not the baby mama. Like, I'm not your mama. This little kid was following me around for a mad long time until people was like, who is this? I was like, I don't know. She just keep following me around. Little kid, I said, little kid, where's your mom? She pointed at me. I said, what the fuck? Listen, I'm not going back to Chuck E. Cheese. I'm scarred. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? I'm not doing that. I got a little kid just coming. I always feel like somebody gonna get hurt or somebody gonna cry. I can't. Give me anxiety and shit. So I'm not hanging out with you there. But I will date someone that has a child. I'm just not going to go into certain situations because my kids are big, right? My daughters are 24 and 19 years old. I'm not really, feeling doing certain things anymore because I've done it already. That's just me. But then there's other people that might want to be there. And that's fine too, if the situation allows for that. But not every situation allows for that. You have to understand that there's also another parent, right? And I'm going to get into a show about co-parenting because that's a whole nother thing. And other relationships after you guys have broken up and how do you come together and co-parent in different relationships and stuff like that. And we're going to talk about it throughout the season because, it's something that has to be done and we have to talk about it. And it's very possible for this. But let's stay on track for today. Today is just for the sake of dating. Right? And how do you embrace somebody's child? Embracing somebody's child is understanding at the very least that they have a child. Respecting at the very least that they have a child. It's not so much about what you do for the child. It's what you do for your partner to allow them to have a relationship with their child. Right? And in this particular case, where I'm talking about a woman who hasn't embraced a child or mistreats a child, be like, I don't want to deal with a kid. You got to also understand that this is something that comes with it, especially when the relationships gets more and more serious, right? And gentlemen, you guys have to know that too. Like if you're with a woman and you really feeling her and it's like, yo, I want to date her. We've been together 2-3 years. I'm going to get engaged. We're going to get married. Or at the very least, marriage is not something for me personally that I have to do. I've been married before. It's cool. But, I don't feel like I have to do it. If it happens, great. Someone loves me enough to make it happen. That's fine. And if it doesn't happen and somebody just throw me a box and be like, you my wife now, that's cool with me too. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem with that. But some women want that. With that said, when you get to that situation, whether it be legally or not legally, with a ring, without a ring, a bracelet, a neck chain, who the fuck knows? A spiritual, ceremony. But whenever you get to the part where you're in that type of situation, even boyfriend and girlfriend for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, you have to understand that that child is still there. And when you're making a commitment to that person, you are also somewhat in your head making a commitment to say, you know what, I'm taking this on. And taking it on don't mean that kid has to be yours. They don't have to be yours. Right? They have a mom and they have a dad. It means that you're going to be in their life, that you're going to be supportive, that you're going to be helpful, that you're going to play a part and you're going to play a role. But your role could look different in different particular scenarios. We're not all in the same scenario. Some kids might have a mom or dad that's very active. And so you don't really need to do nothing. You don't really need to do nothing. You might just need to show up for a birthday party here or there, buy a gift here or there. And that's it. There might be other situations where the kids are grown. Right? Where you don't have to do shit. Like, they don't really give a fuck about you. Nobody asking you to do nothing. You just know that they exist. And God forbid there's any emergency. And, then, you're there to be supportive. And then there's other situations where a kid don't have a dad or doesn't have a strong mom and where you might come in. Because I've seen situations where girlfriends and boyfriends was picking up babies from daycare. And that's fine too, if that works for you. There's no law on how this has to happen and how this has to work. What has to work is that you have a mentality in your head that says, I understand the situation that I signed up for. I love this person that I'm going to be with, or not even love them, because you don't have to marry them. I'm chilling with this person and I understand what their vibe is and I understand what their priorities are and I respect it and I'm going to be supportive to it the best that I can within the situation because I care about this person. And that's what I'm saying. It could even be a fuck buddy. But if your fuck buddy is like, yo, I don't got to sit her or my kid is sick, then guess what? It might be, all right, I'll chill with you another time. I'll call you tomorrow. I'm going to drop off some soup. You know what the case may be. Whatever it is, but you have to understand that because you can't be in a relationship and tell somebody that you love them wholly enough to be in their life forever, to commit to them on paper and in church and whatever the case may be, and then not embrace who they are and not embrace the fact that they have a child and that child is a priority in their life. Now, before I go, because I'm not going to keep you too much long, give me another 10 minutes or so. Before I go, I do also want to talk about the fact that some of these kids are reluctant to have somebody else in their life for whatever reason. And I understand that because I work with children all the time, right? And I just think as anybody, we could understand. However, the same way you want someone to embrace your child, you need to prepare your children to embrace somebody else if that person is going to be around. So if that person ain't nobody that they ever going to see or they ever going to chill with, then you don't got to do this work. You don't got to lay this foundational ground. But if this is somebody that you are going to have in your life, that you're going to marry, that you're dating and you're serious about, then you have to do some foundational work with your children too, to be open to receive somebody else. You know, and a lot of people don't talk about that because they're just like, yo, I'm just going to introduce my kids to so-and-so, whatever. And that's cool. You know what I mean? But we also got to talk about, like, how does that affect your child? Why they might be angry, why they might be upset. What are they looking for in a, you know, who is this person? You need to think about those things, right? Because children also have feelings and they have thoughts and they're not stupid. You know, and it depends what age they are, what the conversations look like, what the foundational work look like. You know, I've seen girlfriends and guys around babies that are 6 months, 9 months, a year old. There's really not that much to say. However, those kids do grow a fondness and they grow a sense of dependency on that person. So is that person going to be around? That person has embraced a lot. They embraced a young child. And then you go to the flip side, they might be grown kids. It's like, I don't give a fuck, mom. Do what you want to do. Be happy. You know, I mean, that's my kids because my kids are old enough to be like, yo, mom, do what you want. Be happy. But you know, you have to do some foundational work with your kids to be able to understand and receive a person too, because they might be acting out for a reason. They might be putting doodle on people's toothbrush for a reason. Well, we're going to put doodle on my boyfriend toothbrush because we don't like him. But let's talk about that. Why don't they like that? We might not like daddy's new girlfriend because what? And you got to figure out how that works for those kids too, if they're going to be involved in that. That's really important. But this isn't so much about the kids. This is really about adults looking at each other, looking at the relationships that they have and saying, okay, I understand the situation. I'm embracing the situation and I'm going to do the best I can to be supportive and support you in this situation so that we can have a relationship, but so that we can encompass that child into whatever the fuck we're doing. Right. And whatever the fuck you're doing, it doesn't mean it could be, like I said, it could be, you know, the full gambit. It could be, you got to come over when my kids go to sleep. That's her telling you something. Right? You're not meeting my kid. You just got to come when my kids go to sleep. It could be that. And then it could be the other opposite end where we've been dating for 2 years and, you know, I want you to meet my kids. Any of it is okay. But either way, I'm talking about the mentality of the adults in the situation and saying, okay, how are we going to tackle this? And is this something that you want or don't want? Because you don't want to get to a point where you're marrying someone or engaged to someone or in love with someone, but you haven't embraced who they are. You haven't embraced their child. And mistreating kids is just fucked up. It's just fucked up. I don't care how bad they is. Some kids need their ass whooped. I ain't gonna lie. And I feel like if you're in a situation where a kid need their ass whooped, you need to let their mom and dad know. Well, maybe not their mom if you're a woman, because she probably gonna be like, I told my kids to do that. But you might want to think about it if you're a dude, how your kids is treating your girlfriend. And if you're a woman, you might want to see how your kids is treating your man. You understand what I'm saying? Because that might be somewhere where you need to have a conversation if they're being disrespectful or whatever the case may be. And if they being disrespectful to another adult, you got to also wonder as a parent, what the fuck you doing? For real. You got to worry about what the fuck you doing, because then you didn't raise that kid like that. I hope you didn't raise that kid like that. And then you can't get mad at certain behavior. It's the same behavior you be doing, but that's a whole nother story. And that's a whole nother topic for us to get into. All I'm saying is, for the sake of this show and for the sake of the topic today of this show, is that if two people are going to fuck around, mess around, have a relationship, get married, whatever the gambit is, and they have children, that you need to understand where your place is that in that situation mentally, and if that's something that you want to do mentally, and if that's a place where you want to be, because you don't ever need to be in a situation where you are mistreating a child or not loving your partner the way, or supporting your partner the way they need to be loved and supported with their children. Now, on the flip side of this, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes people want to be supported and they are not doing what they need to do. And for those people that are not doing what you need to do, ain't nobody fucking supporting that shit. If your kid need to ass whip, I'm telling you, your kid need to ass whip, and then you need to go whip their ass, right? But you cannot. You on the woman's side of things in this particular situation. If your kid is being disrespectful to her and cursing her out and kicking her and biting her and all that shit, then you, as the parent, dad, need to put your foot down and let your kid know what the motherfucking boundaries are, because that's unacceptable too. And don't nobody want to be abused by nobody's children just because they love you. Don't nobody want that, because that will easily also break a relationship. I tell y'all right now, I'm not dealing with that shit. I tell you right now, I date somebody and they have kids and they kid curse me out. They ain't never fucking seeing me again. I'm going to just tell them like, yo, we could still be together. But as far as your kids are concerned, they 15, 16 years old. I don't got to do nothing for them. I'm not coming to nothing. They don't need to see me. They got a mom and a dad. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm not having no kid bite me and curse me out and all that kind of stuff. I don't care if they 4. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So you parents that also have kids and like why someone don't want to be with my kids or around my kids or babysit my kids or the kids treat me you got to also understand what you asking somebody to sign up for too. What are you asking of them? Because that's just as important as the person saying, I sit here and support you. What are you asking this person to do? They love you and they want to be with you. So you're going to ask them. And we take on shit to be in relationships with people. I get that. How much you asking this person to take on? Because I can tell you right now, I'm not taking on that shit. I can tell you right now, I won't even take on a baby. I really won't. Because I don't want one. And if you got one, that's great. But wait, come back to me when they grow up. Because I don't really want to do that. You know, that's just me personally. Other women might be like, I don't mind doing it. Our kids are the same age. They could play together. That's a beautiful thing. That's real nice. That's real nice. And then there could be people with grown kids that are just like, mom and dad, I don't give a fuck. Do what y'all want. Do it. I don't really care. Buy me a pair of sneakers. I'm not doing that either. I'm not financially trying to blackmail a kid to get them to love me either. You know what I mean? Like, yo, that's not my job. As long as your daddy love me, I don't have nothing to do with that. That's me personally. But, different women might do different things. I don't know. All I'm saying is, let's go back to the situation at hand. And the moral of the story here is, if you love someone, or even if you fucking with someone and they have children, you need to understand that they have children. You need to respect that they have children. You need to allow them to be a parent in a healthy manner to their child. Because I know there's women out here, like, I don't want him to go to his baby mamas. And then there's dudes out here, I don't want him to go to a baby dad. Like, I don't really like that nigga. And I understand. She probably don't even really like that nigga too. Or maybe she's still in love with him. I don't know. Things you need to talk about. But the point is, that when you get into whatever that deal, situationship is, that you are willing mentally to embrace the entire person and the situations that they come with and the children that they come with, and be a good person to them and embrace their child. Right. And like I said, embracing a child does not mean that you have to buy things and be at parties and pick up from school. Some people do it. I ain't knocking that. I'm talking about just emotionally embracing your partner so that they could be a better parent to their own children. That's all I'm saying. And supporting your partner so that they're not choosing between you and their child. Because that's an unfair thing to ask somebody to do. And vice versa, you wouldn't want nobody doing that to you. I'm talking to people that have kids. For those people that don't have kids, you also need to understand that when you decide to be in a relationship with someone that has a child, that child is a priority. Right? That child is a priority to that person. And that relationship between you and your partner does, in fact, impact how they parent and how they have to move and the things that they have to do. And it we need to have conversations about that. We need to have healthy conversation about it, because it's like a taboo thing. Like, nobody talks about it. But like, bro, you can't come over to the crib and there's 5 kids running around and you act like they don't know. They're all staring at you because there's strangers in the house, and vice versa. You can't date a man and know he has children and then be like, well, I don't want to fucking deal with that. Like, bro, that's a part of what you signed up for. Then you ain't really riding for the nigga like you said you riding for him. And again, I'm not talking about now bring over your 5 kids and I got to babysit them. I'm just simply stating like, yo, don't you got to go do this today? I picked this up. I saw this. I did that. There's a multitude of ways to embrace somebody's child within the boundaries that you need to. And like I said, every situation is different. So I can't give you, unless you DM me and you want you want advice on a specific situation, I can't give you an outline and the rules per person, because kids are different ages. Situations are different. Some people have active parents. Some people have inactive parents. Some people want a relationship. Some people just want, a fuck buddy, whatever the case may be. So it's different depending on it. But at the end of the day, it's the same thing is the same thing. Like, the kid is there, and we need to navigate whatever the fuck we doing with that kid there. That's really what it really boils down to, and how we're going to do that in a healthy manner. So that's all I wanted to share with you today. I wanted to drop a little wisdom, get you thinking a little bit about that, so that you could start those conversations, whether with your girlfriends, with your boys, with your partner, with your aunt, your uncle, your sister, your cousin, brother, uncle, I don't know, Rona, who knows. But yeah, definitely go to Anchor. Go to Anchor FM/Say It Loud. You can definitely leave me a message. I would love if you did that, because then I can actually upload them into the show, and I want to hear and get feedback. So definitely do that. If you're looking for me on social media, I am Karen L on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We're also Say It Loud on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. For everything Say It Loud, you can go over to www.sayithloud.com. That's all things Say It Loud on sayithloud.com. The merch is up there. The services that I provide are up there. I'm available for bookings. You can do that through the website. So definitely get familiar with that. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next week. I can't wait to hear your messages. We out. How did I bring my dreams alive? Why, with a Anchor podcast, of course. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor does the hard work and distributes your podcast for you, so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can even make money with your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast, all in one place. Download the free Anchor app today, or go to Anchor FM to get started. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Say It Loud. I appreciate all the love, the DMs, the messages, the texts. Any way that you choose to engage with me, I appreciate it all. The shout outs, the reposts, it means a lot, especially on the days when I think nobody's listening, and you guys are all listening and rooting for me. So I love you. Thank you so much. If you're looking for me, you can find me on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I am Karen L and Say It Loud. If you're looking for our website, www.sayithloud, sayithloud.com for all things Karen L, all things Say It Loud. If you'd like to do a donation, go ahead to the website and click donation. We're definitely taking donations. I need some new equipment. We're growing. And if you want to join our Patreon, you can go to the website, click the Patreon link, and subscribe. YouTube is coming. Yes, there will be a visual added and a couple other projects going on, so definitely look out for that. And if you'd like to book Karen L for whatever, or have her come on to your show, please go to the website, reach out to me. There's a Say It To Me tab. You can go ahead, shoot me an email, and we can discuss it. I would love to come out and bring the energy and bring the vibes to you. Yeah, so thank you all. I'll see you next week.